Do you believe what we just witnessed?
Listen, it's that kind of verbal dexterity and political acumen that you pay top dollar for in the political consulting world. In defense of Tom Donilon, though, I will say that he has captured Joe Biden's voice absolutely perfectly in that. That seemed like it was a 1-to-1 almost. But we have a joke. We've been in political consulting and that kind of thing forever. We have a joke internally here that there is no fiercer capitalist than a progressive Democrat in Washington, D.C. They're going to get paid. Right. One way or another, they're going to figure out how to get paid. And this guy is a perfect encapsulation of that.
It's all there, black and white. He was going to make millions of dollars if he could just get Bernie over the finish line. He did not give two shits about what was going to happen to the rest of the country because obviously they had some woke progressives making policy decisions there, and they were all just perfectly fine with that, presumably as long as he could keep his summer home.
Yeah, and also how disingenuous. Like, any political consultant could recite what their win bonus is in their sleep. They know how much money they're getting paid. So for him to be like, try to like run out the clock before he's like, yeah, it's $4 million. It's like $4 million more on top of the $4 million you're already getting. And he's like, yeah, just another casual $4 million. This is Biden Inc. We toss $4 million around like it's nothing.
Well, and we're talking about a conflict of interest here, but we're not talking about any candidate for any office. We're talking about the current president of the United States at that moment, right? And that's what makes it so galling, Megyn, is like, yeah, this guy, he's stand to gain another $4 million if a candidate won an election, but he was also part of this farce pretending that this guy could still do the job in the Oval Office. And that is the real import, I think, of this entire investigation, is figuring out, like, are these people committing treason? It feels like treason to me.
Yeah, yes. It feels like it. It feels like an utter betrayal of their patriotic duty and their oath of office in order to line their own pockets. Let me tell you something, though, because I'm sure it's not unusual to have this sort of bonus structure built in for a campaign manager. Like if you get me over the line, I'm going to give you some sort of a bonus. It was the way he handled it that told us everything we needed to know. Yep. He was so dishonest in fessing up and tried to dodge. Thank God the questioners followed up and understood they were asking a really simple thing. Let me tell you, though, as a lawyer, and again, I don't know if these are lawyers, I assume they are, but at least they're skilled cross-examiners. When somebody does this, every hair on the back of your neck stands up. And you're like, with the claws out, like, you're fucking dead now. You're dead. Now we're going to go. I mean, I've been in this position countless times in depositions and cross-examinations and sometimes even in interviews. It's the worst possible thing to do, the worst possible way to handle it. The best way is to be like, yes, and I was to receive another $4 million if he made it across the line. That's it. Then they got their admission, which they were going to get no matter what, but you don't look like a dishonest cretin. Mm-hmm. I can't believe how dumb this guy was.
Yeah, I mean, I think it kind of feels like he knows he should be ashamed, meaning he knows he did something wrong. Meaning this business that he was engaged in, he knew it wasn't all above board. If you're doing above board things, like, yeah, my family went and we worked at a soup kitchen last Thanksgiving. We fed the poor. I'm happy to tell people that because you're proud of that. But the fact that this guy's trying to run the clock and he was like, yeah, it was another $4 million. Like, it's an admission of guilt that you did something you know was wrong. When you're trying to hide it like that and you feel ashamed of it like that, it's a good sign that you were doing some dishonest stuff.
The outcome of the campaign?
Yeah.
The outcome of the campaign? You're a professional political consultant.
What do you mean the outcome of the campaign?
I mean, I don't know. There's an election.
Yeah.
What is this thing of which you speak, the campaign and its outcome? Perhaps you could elaborate?
It wasn't a bonus for the debate performance. Good God.
It's amazing to me.
Talk about some reclamation.
Yeah.
There's so much lying in today's news cycle. Honestly, like we kicked it off with the big lie. That's, as the Democrats like the turn of phrase, the big lie. But the whole show is about lying liars who lie, and they're all Democrats. Not that Republicans never lie, they lie too. But there's a bunch of Democrats lying in the news today. Okay, let's keep going because that's not the only.
They get away with it.
Yeah.
Lie again. They get away. Right. They do it in secret. And they get away with it.
That's true.
That's right, Ashbrook, because the press almost never presses them, right? It's like even here, we needed Republicans on the House Oversight Committee to get this admission. Mm-hmm. Like Mike Donilon, who got this admission from him? Like what presser What member of the press ever got it? Okay.
That's also, can I just interject on one thing before you transition? 8M is a big number. Like, I don't want your audience to think that that is what campaign managers are paid to run political campaigns. That is insane. When we used to run political campaigns, you had a very finite amount of cash that you were able to raise through hard dollar limits and whatnot. And you cared so deeply about winning and losing, which is why you got involved in the first place, that you tried to keep your own overhead as low as possible in order to maximize resources for TV ads, for field work, for all the things that you need to do during the course of the campaign. For someone to just say, like, I'm going to take 8M off the top of that in what is going to be a nip and tuck race is wild.
It's an insane number. I remember, like,
isn't that donor money?
Yes.
And that's like, you know, when they ask donors to be like, hey, can you chip in $5, $20? Those small dollar donors, all those $20 and $5 donations are getting rolled up into $8 million to go into Donald's pocket. Like, that's how greedy this guy is. That is absolutely not a normal amount to be paid. Nothing close.
Yeah, in Major League Baseball, there's a lot of talk about a salary cap. And so I wonder if in Democrat politics, maybe some of the donors might be considering coming together and instituting a salary cap on Democrat campaign consultants.
Think about, honestly, I feel sorry for the Democrats. I actually feel sorry for these Democrat donors. Not only were they being set up to fail with Biden and this guy, but then what did they get to replace him? Somebody who spent more than $1 billion in 107 days and blew out so much of the dough that the DNC is now still paying back her debt. We just got news last week. They had to cover an additional $1.6 million of her debt. She went over budget, over her $1 billion spend. She actually managed to spend beyond her means, and they're still trying to clean it up. If I were a Democrat, I'd never give another penny.
Real quick, is this thing, this money scheme is the entire explanation for the entire left. Beyonce came in and got paid off that. Oprah came in and got paid off that. You think Hollywood is supporting these socialists for their health? There's money for everybody in this game.
And the Oprah thing was such a grift. I said it at the time. We talked about it. When you are a journalist, you don't get paid by the campaign for anything. You don't take 1 cent from the campaign, or you've sold your soul. You don't say, I'll do a town hall with you, but you have to pay for the big round theater with the fancy monitors everywhere so I can beam in Republicans for Kamala. You say, I will be in charge of the set and the production, and I will make it as fancy or not as I want. And all of that will come out of the journalist's budget. Oprah tried to, scoff this off as like, oh, what do you mean? It was like $1 million for the production. Like, no, that's not normal. You know it. You're corrupt too.
Yeah, totally. But here's the thing. You talked about feeling bad for Democratic donors. They'll never know, Megyn. They'll never know. They are sitting there listening to MSNBC prime time, or all of the cheerleaders on the left that have made them sort of agnostic to anything outside of this far left preaching. They'll never know about this clip. They'll never know that the whole American democracy, the Democratic Party, the nomination, all of it was for the low price of $8 million. They'll never know.
You're right.
This is not the lead on MSNBC today or on any left-wing podcast. I look forward to the in-depth, The Daily podcast on this. I'll wait. Buy gold and get free silver. That's right. For every $5,000 purchased from Birch Gold Group this month in advance of Veterans Day, they will send you a free patriotic silver round that commemorates the Gadsden and American flags. Look, gold is up over 40% since the beginning of this year, and Birch Gold can help you own it by converting an existing IRA or 401k into a tax-sheltered IRA in physical gold. Plus, they'll send you free silver honoring our veterans on qualifying purchases. And if you are current or former military, Birch Gold has a special offer just for you. They are waiving custodial fees for the first year on investments of any amount. With an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau and tens of thousands of happy customers, consider diversifying your savings into gold. Text MK to the number 989898 for a free info kit and to claim your eligibility for free silver with qualifying purchase before the end of the month. Again, text MK to the number 989898. Message and data rates may apply. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.